Thank you. What's up? How you guys feeling? That's it? How you guys feeling? Yeah. This side over here good? This side good? This side good? Okay, this side's better. Awesome. Okay, let's hear this side. Oh, oh, oh. This side. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Yes. I knew we had some new kids on the block fans. You know who you are. Me too. That's fantastic. Thank you, Raina. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for talk about two amazing people. My goodness, it's awesome to be here. Absolutely. I'm grateful that I'm able to be here. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel because flying down here, I sat next to this woman on the plane, and I'll be honest with you, she didn't look too good, and she looked ill. And so I was sitting there, and I turned to her, and I go, "Are you feeling okay?" And she looked at me and goes, "No." She's from England. "I've got the swine flu." Really? Well, how long have you had this? She goes, "Oh, about a week. The rest of you will get that one in the car tonight on your way home. I had to try that one. I love that one. I'm so honored to be here with all of you guys tonight. You know, this is like being with my family. Of course, my family's much bigger than this. So this is a nice little intimate gathering. But you know what? That's what it's all about. It's about being together with people that you love, people that you care about, people who share a common bond, people who are all committed to the same thing, ending MS forever. You know, absolutely. This crazy thing called MS has been a part of my life pretty much forever, since I can ever remember. I come from a large family, as I'd mentioned, a family called the Osmond family. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of them. I don't know if you're old enough to know them, but you know, it's interesting. I live in Utah, and especially in Utah, when I pull my credit card out to go to the grocery store, inevitably, at least once a week, someone looks at it and goes, So are you like one of the Osmonds? I love it when they do that because I can play stupid a little bit. Well, you know, like my family, but, oh, no, you know, like Donnie and Marie. Who? And then they're like, "You don't know Donnie and Marie?" Well, let me tell you about Donnie and Marie. And I've heard the craziest things you can ever imagine, but it's awesome, and it's humbling coming from a family with such a legacy of entertainment. 53 years in show business and counting. Pretty amazing. Yeah, absolutely. They sold over 100 million records as a family and have had immense success in the world, but I think their greatest success is as a family and for what they represented. MS struck our family. Ever since I was just a little boy, my dad, Alan Osmond, the oldest of the performers, was struck with it. And you know, at the time he was diagnosed nearly 3 decades ago, he'd never heard of it. And I'm one of 8 boys, right? No sisters. So my dad says, "Oh, you have MS." He thought, "What is that, many sons?" And they gave him Tylenol and Advil and said, "You know, come back in 6 months, maybe we'll have something for you." A lot has happened in the last 5 years alone, let alone more has happened in the last 5 years than the last 100 for this crazy thing called MS. But as a little boy, I watched how this terrible disease took my dad literally off the stage, where he was no longer able to perform. He wasn't able to play his instruments anymore. He wasn't able to hold his microphone and do his dance steps. And the thing he'd done his entire life, he was no longer able to do. But my dad is tenacious, and he's an amazing example and a hero of mine. And what a great example as a kid to have this guy in your life who exemplified overcoming trials and tribulations and struggles and pain. That was such a gift for me as a kid because I've been doing music since I was a little boy, traveling around as a singer-songwriter, performing all the time. We actually used to perform with the New Kids on the Block, me and my brothers as a boy band back in the day, and have done a lot of different music. And And a few years ago, as I was pursuing this music as a solo artist, living in LA, and things going very well, I was struck with some physical challenges. And within about 3 months of immense pain in my body and eyesight problems, I actually ended up in a state of paralysis. And from the chest down, I couldn't move. I could hardly see. Music was done. And in a strange turn of events, just like my dad, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and immediately knew what that meant for me. At first, I was a little bit in denial, and I got to be honest with you about that. I remember sitting in my wheelchair, unable to do a lot, and I was at my parents' house, and this was a defining moment for me. I've had a chance to learn so much through this crazy challenge of mine, and it sounds insane, it sounds maybe stupid, but having multiple sclerosis literally is one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. It sounds crazy, but I believe it's a gift from me that has allowed me to open my mind to a new perspective and to cherish each day. This defining moment was when I was in my chair at my parents' house and I was watching my little brother who was on the floor wrestling with his son. And I was the fly on the wall, right? I'm looking at this thing take place, and it was a hallmark moment. You had to smile. It was so cute. And as I'm watching them wrestle on the floor, my smile just turned to bitterness, and it turned to such intense anger because I'm watching something take place that I didn't think I was ever going to have in my life. And I was so sorry for myself. I just ate me up inside. And I thought to myself the burning question, why? Why me? Why did this have to happen to me? I got to tell you guys, sincerely, the one thing, maybe the biggest thing I learned through all of this is that question, which maybe all of us have asked at some point in our lives. I'm never, ever allowed to ask myself that question. I'm not. Unless I force myself to ask myself the question, same question, for every single moment of happiness and joy that comes into my life. I have 2 beautiful little girls, a beautiful wife, and I think every single day to myself, why? Why did this happen to me? My cup is absolutely overflowing. And you know, I believe he who has a why in their life can overcome any how. I found my why. I know what that is. And it just lifts me and embraces me and tells me, you can do it. Pain comes to every single one of us. It's a part of this life. We're either in a crisis, coming out of a crisis, or we're headed for a crisis, right? But despite the fact that pain is inevitable for all of us, I promise you that suffering is truly optional. And I know that because I've had this beautiful example as a dad of overcoming challenges. And yeah, he has a lot of pain in his life, and I've seen it for so long, but he is not suffering. There's a quote I wanted to share with you. I've shared it with some of you, actually, before, but it's my favorite quote from one of my favorite authors of all time. His name is Dr. Seuss. Okay, Dr. Seuss said something very profound. He said, you know, I've heard there are troubles of more than one kind. Some come from ahead, some come from behind. But I bought a big bat, and I'm ready, you see. And now my troubles? Yeah, they're going to have troubles with me. How cool is that, right? Brilliant. Because we do. We have a bat. We have an arsenal at our fingertips to fight challenges. And what we hold right now today, especially to fight off multiple sclerosis, is you. You guys are, you're the butterfly effect. I have a friend, Andy Andrews, who is just brilliant, and he shared this with me one time. The butterfly effect. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but you guys are that. Back in the 1960s, 1963 I think it was exactly, it was a doctoral thesis that was established, and actually today has been proven to be fact. And it's crazy, but the theory is this, that a butterfly on one side of the world can flap its wings, and it can move air molecules, which in turn move other molecules, and in turn move other molecules, and can actually create a hurricane on the other side of the world. Sounds crazy, but true. So true to life. And you guys are that butterfly effect, and you are making immense progress and benefit in the lives of people you'll never even meet. But you're changing the world for good. That's why I love this theme, a shared promise. First time I heard it, I was thinking of this Halloween. My oldest daughter, her name is Saffron. And Saffron, her favorite movie is Tangled, right? So she wanted to be Rapunzel, and she runs the house. So she goes, Daddy, you're going to be Flynn Rider. If you know the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And I was stoked because Flynn's a stud. But so she's Rapunzel. And I love that because there's a part in that movie. Right now, my daughter's going through a phase where she might tell a lie or she might do little things here and there. And I go, don't you do that. That's not good. And she goes, okay, Daddy, I promise I'll never do it again. I promise, Daddy, I'll never do it again. All the time now. And I'm reminding her of Rapunzel because in that movie, she says, this girl who's lived in a tower her entire life, she's innocent and pure. And she says multiple times in the movie, and when I promise something, I never break that promise, ever, with determination. That's us. We have that promise. We're committing to each other, we're committing to the world, that we are fighting to eradicate this terrible disease. And my promise to you is this, in the eternal words of my Father, He's told me since I was a little boy, David, I may have MS, but MS does not have me. And it doesn't have you. And God willing, it won't have any of us very soon. God bless you. Thank you.